Welcome to another episode of CHILIpulse, the space we created to give you actionable insights on all things Chili Graphics, our creative automation platform. In today's episode, we dive into the world of QR codes and barcodes. These patterns of lines and squares are everywhere, from the things we buy to the ads we see. QR codes let us get information fast with just a scan from our phones, changing the way we interact with the world around us. Barcodes facilitate the tracing in retail for all the products you buy and making your shopping experience even smoother. Today, we explore how these codes are integrated into Chili Graphics and GraFx Studio and what codes are available. And we do that today with Nicola. Hi, Nicola.
Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome again. For the people who haven't seen the other episodes, can you introduce who is Nicola? What do you do?
Yes, Nicola, I've been at Chili for a little over a year now, and I'm a developer or technical lead, even on the Flutter team, on the engine, and also the component owner for that team. So I translate product requirements into technical requirements for the team to work on.
Great. So you know a thing or two about barcodes?
Yes.
How we implemented them?
Indeed.
Super. Well, let's dive into a few things. First of all, why did we need barcodes and QR codes in GraFx Studio?
So as you know, GraFx Studio is a multi-channel experience where we have both print and digital. And in the print world, everyone knows their barcodes. They're on all the packaging and all the products. But now that we go into the digital space, where we also have ads on Facebook, where we also want to introduce quick barcodes to get people engagement, click-throughs.
Yeah, indeed.
Full multi-channel.
Super. All right. First of all, you weren't around when we had GraFx Publisher, where we had barcodes and QR codes already in the, like you mentioned, we had it in print. So when you wanted to have barcodes in Publisher, you could do that. Now we added them also to Studio. Let's start. I open Studio. I want to make a smart template. How do I start adding a QR code, barcode?
Yeah, so we try to make Studio as user-friendly towards template designers as possible. So it's no longer required to configure your barcode way up front. So now there's a little button on the left side of your workspace. You click on it, a panel opens where you can see all the different types of barcodes we support. You can even search by name if the list is too big to scroll and you're working on a tiny screen. And if that's the case, talk to your manager to get a bigger screen if you're a template designer.
Or call you to have more barcodes available.
Yes, I will add more barcodes upon request. And then you simply click on a barcode of the type you want. It will get automatically added in the center of your screen.
Yeah.
Some of the barcodes are resizable. For example, QR codes and data matrix, the 2D barcodes are resizable. And the other ones have a specific size that's defined by a standard. And we've done the work for you. You don't need to remember the standard. We will fix the size of the barcode for you so that it's up to spec.
So once you have it as a frame, just like any other frame available on your document, then it's up to you to change the properties of that specific code.
Yes.
And like you mentioned, depending on the code, it will have different properties available or maybe not available, just like you mentioned, with depending on the standards.
So indeed, for QR codes, for example, you have these different error correction levels. You can have high error correction or low error correction. Especially important if you want to add a little logo in the center of your QR code. For the others, for example, for the one-dimensional barcodes, you can set the bar height, which will actually influence on how high they are. You can add magnification to scale them to your specific design needs.
Yeah.
We have bar width reduction, especially important for print, where you can specify how thick the lines or the reduction on the thickness of the lines to compensate for ink spread.
Yeah, indeed, because if you print, ink can make the bars look wider, so you can reduce them. Any other types of validations that we included?
Yes, so there's a couple of barcodes which have in their standard sort of check digit that needs to be calculated. For example, on EN 13 codes, for example, the last digit, the 13th digit is actually a checksum.
Yeah.
If you omit that, we will calculate it for you. And we also validate that you did it correctly to ensure that all the scanners will actually
All right.
do it.
And entering the value of that code, barcode, QR code, how does that happen?
So either you do it directly as a text field, so there will be a text field where you can enter your text directly. If it's a static thing, it's always the same. Or you link it to a variable, and then especially when it's linked to a variable, the world of actions will allow you, for example, to create dynamic V-cards, where you just have all these different kinds of information from somebody, combine it into the correct V-card formats. As a segue, use Genie for this because it knows how to do all these things. And set that as the value of that variable, and automatically you will get a QR code that has correct V-card information.
I think that combines several concepts of creative automation. First of all, you use variables. You can use several variables. You can combine them in one, and like you said, Genie can do that work for you, combining all the information in the right format.
Yes.
Maybe the list is too long, but what types of codes would you say are available?
So we looked in the wild, and that means that for QR codes is very big, of course, in the digital space. Data matrix is more packaging, but we also support the major one-dimensional barcodes, so all the N codes, UPC codes, codes 39, 93, and 128, the variable width codes are also supported. If you have any other requirements or special things, drop us a note and we can discuss.
Because a little bird tweeted me that since you are the developer behind the scenes, the framework is ready to easily add more types of codes if necessary.
Yes. ESBN codes, Aztec codes. There's many more things we can support. Even special requests upon requirements and buying bigger screens.
All right. We already talked about the colors for design. Let's zoom in a bit on outputs, because you created these codes on your design. Of course, when you output to a digital channel, there will be pixels.
Yes.
What about if you output to PDF?
Yes. On PDF, we of course, because it's a vectorial format, we follow the same standard, and they're also embedded there as vectors, with the additional bonus that if you have the text below the barcodes, which you can toggle on and off for some, it will also be selectable text to have a mixed digital print use case world.
So that means if you scale up or make a very big print, the QR codes are not images that are then scaled up. No, it's real vectors.
Looks crisp.
Super. Well, thanks a lot. I think that's a lot of information and a great addition to GraFx Studio.
Yeah, we're excited to see what everyone will be building with it.
Super.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nicola, and thank you for watching. And let us know if you want to know more about barcodes in your smart templates. You can do this by leaving us a comment on YouTube, maybe fill in a form on our website, or send us an email at pulse@chilipublish.com. Or even a good old telephone is an option if you want to call to a real human. See you in the next episode to bring you more actionable insights on Chili Graphics. Thank you. Thank you.
Hopla, first try.